But I think the only danger is, whilst the world is a bigger place, I think traveling outside Africa, if you are not very careful, you may lose your identity.
Okay.
You may lose the story of the village.
Yes.
Because you're now exposed to maybe a different culture.
Right.
And you can easily, if you are not, smart about, embracing where you come from.
Right.
You adopt a lifestyle and forget that you came from
somewhere,
a local village.
Right.
That has a story.
Right.
And that story needs to be continued.
Ooh. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the last episode of Season 2 for Jamhuri Fresh Off the Boat. This is the show where we capture stories of Kenyans, Jamhuri Kenyans, traveling from Kenya and engaging with the global world, the lessons they learned, the culture shocks, the career breakthroughs that they have, and how they end up coming back to Kenya. But this is expanding. We're finding that we're even getting Africans engaging with us from other African countries that are like, hey, I want to belong to the Jamhuri tribe, which Jamhuri really means freedom. And so in this Season 2, we are going to bring more diverse guests, of course, Kenyans and Africans who have really engaged with the global world and how they are so passionate about innovative solutions for Africa. So in this episode, I am so excited to have Theo Bangura, my first Sierra
Leonean.
Sierra Leonean.
Yes, Sierra Leonean.
Sierra Leonean to right. ever meet.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because for me, it just means Africa is even shrinking closer and closer. It feels like a small village. And he's an amazing financier. He loves empowering men. And I think he will do even he will expound more on his introduction. And so, yeah, go for it.
Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me to the podcast. It's really an honor. I was looking forward to this moment.
Thank you.
And certainly for me, Kenya has a special place in my heart.
Oh, wow.
I was last in Kenya in 2022. Mm-hmm. Not in Nairobi,
yes,
but in Mombasa. And I loved the place, loved the culture, loved the people, the experience I had. It's left a big print in me. So I feel I'm an adopted son of Kenya.
Absolutely, so, and we love adopting people.
Exactly. So I think for me, it's a long time coming. I've been talking about Kenya for so long.
Right.
I'll be coming back to Kenya. So it's wonderful that I finally landed back in Kenya, and we'll see what Kenya has to offer. So I'm very pleased you've extended the invitation to us, to me, to be on the podcast, and I'm really, really honored. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, karibu sana. And what you don't understand is, I mean, him and the wife are like really diligent people. Like they landed, I think, almost close to midnight and made their way to the studios very early so that they could get their story out. And for me, that shows something. It shows commitment, hard work, going the extra mile. Already you can see that is coming through just from simple, invitations like this, that they are honoring that. So I just want to capture your story.
Yes.
The fact that you grew up in Sierra Leone. Mm. So do you want to just touch on that a bit?
Yes, more than happy. I was born there.
Okay.
But I did not spend, or most of my life, certainly teenage life, I spent in Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Because I was privileged to be on a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
To go to an international college in Ghana.
And so what I find so fascinating, just to stop you, is your wife mentioned how she traveled to South Africa.
Yes.
And then you traveled to Ghana. I don't think it's very common in Kenya to hear kids traveling to Tanzania or to Uganda for school. They more travel to Kenya for school. Yeah. So
it is. So it was a once of a lifetime opportunity to receive that scholarship. I think it exposed me to what is out there.
Right.
And I think that exposure I would recommend to anybody else. It's very, very important. It's key. So though I was born in Freetown in Sierra Leone, I think when I was back in 1992 is when I won the scholarship.
Right.
I've got a twin brother, but he lives
wow.
he lives in the States.
Yes.
But we went a different direction after Ghana, which is
Right.
surprising. He went to the US, so we spent 5 years in Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Where I did my O level and my A level. We
Right.
excelled, and it's something I refer to in the book, which we'll discuss later on, how some of the choices I made in my life at that point when I was a young boy
Right.
kind of shaped the man I've become.
Yes.
And continue to shape the person I will become at some
Right.
point. And then from Ghana, got the opportunity to study in the UK.
Okay, that's interesting. And so before you go to the UK, I just want to touch your experiences. Having been born in Sierra Leone, having been surrounded by a Sierra Leone culture,
Yes.
now you are in Ghana and you are realizing what about Ghana and what about yourself. Was there a culture shock? Like, what was it like in Ghana?
Yeah, I think the culture in West Africa is very, very similar.
Okay.
And as a young boy, since I was still growing up, I've not really identified
Okay.
with the
So you are
Sierra
more
Leonean
malleable.
culture.
Okay.
Exactly. So I was still in that developmental stage.
Okay.
So going to Ghana, the only difference for me was the language.
Ah.
They've got many, many
The
languages.
food was kind of
The food
same.
was different. No, the food was slightly different.
Okay.
But they have a certain food that I really enjoy.
Which, do you want to say it?
Yes, I will say it. Even up to today, it's one of my favorite food. It's called, I'm sure you have in Kenya, it's plantain.
Oh, yeah, we have
You have
plantain.
plantain.
Yes.
Now, but I like them fried.
Yes, we fry them
Yeah,
here.
good. So fried plantain with black-eyed beans.
Oh, okay.
Yes, without black-eyed beans, when you cook, you have to use like palm oil and stuff
Yes,
like
and
that.
coconut.
Exactly.
Coconut sauce.
Yeah, you exactly know it. So that is my favorite meal.
Oh, wow.
So in Ghana, that's why I discovered
That they have that meal. Okay.
We don't have it in Sierra Leone. We have plantain, but we don't cook it that way.
With the black-eyed peas.
With the black-eyed peas. We call it beans. But it's the same thing.
Right.
So for me, the food was an eye-opener. They've got some foods I really enjoy, some not so much. But I still, like the food from home because that's what I was used to when I was growing up.
Right.
But the culture, because it was an international college, and it was, we lived on campus. So I did not interact so much with local people and the culture. It's an international college, an international school. So a lot of the people I interacted with are the students from the school. But we still go out to shop. We still go out to visit the cinema. We go to venues and interact with locals, but not so much. So it didn't rub so much on me.
So the Ghanaian culture was kind of not too much on you because you were in this international school.
Exactly.
But in the international school, again, you were a small kid experiencing international students from different parts of the world.
Yes. So we had students from Ethiopia, students from Kenya.
Wow.
We had some from Namibia, South Africa, Ghana. It's a host country. We had Nigeria, we had Morocco, we had Egypt.
Oh, wow. But so what did that do to you?
I think it reinforces my understanding of there's a better world out there.
Right.
I wasn't so confined with, say, the culture of Sierra Leone.
Absolutely.
But the great thing I love about the college, it's called SOSHGIC, which stands for Amang Minor International College.
Oh, wow.
I still think is the best college ever.
In Africa?
In Africa, if
oh,
not the world.
Wow, that's amazing.
The curriculum was top notch. It was high level, and the expectation academically, but also socially, it built the character of a person, your thinking capacity.
Right.
That was built. So we used to have cultural events.
Yes.
So every student from whatever part of Africa they come from, we've had a Korean.
Wow.
But he identified himself as Ghanaian because he's been living there for so long.
Right.
But it was mainly for African students.
Right.
But so because we had this cultural event, so we have to showcase each other's cultures and participate. So, we sing South African songs, Kenyan songs. So it kind of exposed us a lot more to the cultures of different parts of Africa and the world. So I think it is really, really, refined me as a person.
And as a global citizen,
exactly,
I think
that
it
should not be just
solidified
reformed.
you. Yes.
That's right. That should not just be stuck in one place, but have a mindset of the world.
I love that, and the fact that you're exposed to that as a young person to understand that that you are Sierra Leonean.
That's right.
And that you have studied in Ghana.
That's
but
right.
you carry these identities, and now you also have a big identity that you
Yes.
are African,
Yes.
and also you are a global citizen.
That's right.
And those, I keep saying in our generation that those identities are very important, because you cannot just afford to stay in your village and
Correct.
just say, this is what I am. Because I'm like, whether you like it or not, the global world is coming to you. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yes.
And so if you're going to be probably a more well-rounded or a prosperous citizen, you better begin to open up yourself that the world is bigger
Yes.
than that corner of the village that you're in.
That's right. We're just one tiny speck.
Yes, you're just one.
In the world. But I think the only danger is, whilst the world is a bigger place,
Yeah.
I think traveling outside Africa, if you are not very careful, you may lose your identity.
Okay.
You may lose the story of the village,
Yes.
because you're now exposed to maybe a different culture.
Right.
And you can easily, if you are not, smart about, embracing where you come from.
Right.
You adopt a lifestyle and forget that you came from
Somewhere.
a local village.
Right.
That has a story.
Right.
And that story needs to be continued.
Right.
So for me, as an example, we've got children who are born and lived abroad all their life.
Absolutely.
So they may not identify so much as being African.
Right.
But that's the risk you take when you live outside Africa. And some of the foods that we like, he doesn't like it. It's as simple as, I was having a discussion with him. The mom was telling me he doesn't like, if you don't mind me saying this example, we call it road runners.
What are road runners?
And boilers.
What are boilers?
Hard chickens.
Hard chickens.
Yes.
Okay.
As little as hard chickens.
Right.
But that's what we call it in West Africa.
Right.
Now, because of the texture, he
Yes.
thinks it's not real chicken.
Right.
Because he's used to that abroad.
Also, the
Whereas
hard chicken,
the
yes,
hard chicken,
which is very nutritious.
very nutritious.
Right.
It's a lot.
In Kenya, we call it kenyeji.
Keneji, that's
Yeah.
the one. Yes, I like
Right.
just the Keneji. That's the one. So he doesn't like that because he thinks it's not flavorful, some for him.
Yes, it needs an acquired
Exactly.
taste.
And when I tell him, oh, this is what we eat in Africa, or in Sierra Leone we eat cassava leaves, or potato
Right.
leaves, or okra, he
Yes.
wouldn't touch that kind of food. Because so by being a global citizen,
Right.
you have to be intentional
About
that you
passing
don't
some.
exactly are passing on the story to the next generation,
Right.
which is what the legacy within is
Yeah.
all about.
Oh,
Do
great.
not forget your roots. Do not forget the story of your grandfather. Do not
Right.
forget the story of your village.
Right.
Because it takes intentionality for you to pass that story on to the son or the daughter who is born abroad.
Absolutely.
For them to identify that they know they come from somewhere.
Right.
They didn't just they were born and bred in the UK or
Right.
abroad or US or Canada, but they've got a root somewhere.
Right.
And they need to revisit that root and keep,
There's
passing that on,
yes.
that continuation to their own generation as well.
I love that. So I think it's always a bargain, what you're going to carry forward and what probably also needs to be lost.
That's right.
Because it's not beneficial to where you're going. And I think the challenge, especially with men who tend to be the ones who carry that legacy for the home, there's always that tension of what do I hold back from what do I hold on to that my grandfather gave me or my father is giving to me, and what do I need to let go?
That's
you
right.
know? And so I think we're almost just going into what you are so passionate about. But even as we follow your journey, and so you're in this international school in Ghana, and now
yes.
you end up in Leeds.
Yes, I ended up in the UK. Before I went to Leeds, I ended up in London.
Okay.
Because I went there to do my bachelor's in an American university in London.
That's
so I went there
interesting,
to
American
study.
university
I know
in
it is
London.
American. Before I even went there, I was intending to study in Africa. Which was
wow.
my original intention was not to go to the West, but to stay in Africa. So I applied to a few universities in South Africa. But I think just after I finished high school, just before I traveled to South Africa, then there was this fracas about foreigners being killed and being harassed in South Africa.
So there's xenophobia.
There's xenophobia, yes. So I was advised you probably might not want to go to that place.
Right.
Then I said, okay, I'll try an international university in Cairo. So there's an American university in Cairo. So I tried that one. I got in, and then I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, we're getting news that they are killing foreigners as well.
Wow.
I'm saying this is not good. So I remember I was speaking to my mom. My mom said, I don't think it's a good idea for you to go somewhere where they are killing foreigners. So I said, okay, what I would do, I don't want to take a year out. I want to keep studying.
Right.
So this university, high school called me and they said, we've got an opening for you in an American university in London. So you can try that one maybe for a year, see if you enjoy it. If you don't, then you can now transfer somewhere else.
Right.
So that's how I ended up in the UK, in London. It's also supposed to be 3 months to a year. And I've been there since 1997.
Wow.
I know.
That is a grown person
Yes.
almost settling down to have a family.
Oh, yeah, I have definitely settled. Now my life is completely different. So school there for 4 years, did my bachelor's in finance and accounting. So that's my original
That's
area.
your background.
That's my background in finance and accounting. And then I did my postgraduate. I moved from London, moved to Bradford. But again, because it's an international university, it was a familiar place. But I've just been now open up to more different cultures.
Right.
Because the university, if I recall well, there are only probably about 2 or 3 British students.
The rest are international.
The rest of us were international.
Wow.
All Africans, lots of Americans, because it's an American university, Asians, Middle East citizens, all in the university. So those different vibe of different cultures, to me, it was very, very exciting. And that's what, to me, I've thrived in, having these, differences.
Surrounded by all these
different individuals, different cultures. And I've thrived so well in that. And from there, I moved to Bradford.
Okay.
Another university to do my postgraduate, where I did again in finance and accounting as well, in management. And I finished that and I moved to Leeds. That's how I ended up in Leeds.
Right.
Now, I moved to Leeds because of work.
Oh, wow.
Because I started working in banking. And I've been in the same company, surprising, since 2004.
Wow.
But just whilst it's still banking, but there are different arms
Right.
of the banking world. I've done risk, I've done mortgage, I've done insurance, I've done risk, I've done reward. I've moved so many places within the bank to give me that wealth of experience.
Absolutely.
As well. So that's how I ended up in Leeds, because it's close to work. But I don't live there now.
Right.
I've now moved down south to Kent. Yes, for work. And because we opened a new business in Kent. So I think that movement for me is, again, reinforces the benefit of there's a richer world outside.
Right.
Don't be constrained only in the local village.
Yes.
But there's great experiences, great people, great cultures, great foods.
Yes.
You need to interact with and let it be beneficial to you as you go about your life.
Absolutely. And I mean, just thinking about how your mind has opened up, that if you were in Sierra Leone, for example, would say you would just only be understanding banking, as you say, if you stayed in the same career, within the context of what's happening in that country. But your gifting was so refined that now you could understand even mortgage and the risk management.
That's right.
In a very foreign country. So talking about just your gifting being expounded to understand global markets. And that happened because you dared to move to unfamiliar territory.
Exactly.
And I think that's a great takeaway. But was there any time in between all those great transitions that you felt a sense of culture shock, or you just felt a sense of it just didn't feel like a career breakthrough? It just felt like, man, it just feels bad right now, or it's dark right now. Did you have anything?
Yes. I went through several stages in my life when I felt stuck.
Okay.
You have to, if we're honest to ourselves, we need to go a stage of self-examination and reflection.
Absolutely.
And you need to ask yourself, am I on the right path? And if you are not on the right path, what are we going to do about it?
So before you got there, so I want you to, you can share that personal experience. What was it to you?
Yeah, so...
Or one of them.
Yeah, so I think for me, one of them which I dealt with in the book was because I'm on a mission at the moment to establishing a legacy that will outlive me.
Amen.
But that legacy, whilst it will outlive me, I want to begin to work on it and reap the benefits.
Yes.
Yes, it might just be shoots, it might just be young fruit I'm seeing at the moment, but I want to see that legacy whilst I'm still alive. But a moment came, there was a program on TV. My son was watching.
Right.
And this person had passed on. So somebody was asking a question, and they were talking about what this person who's died will be remembered for.
Right.
And I'm not sure why I decided to open myself up to this embarrassment.
Yes.
But I did ask my son, who's 14 now.
Right.
And I asked him, I know I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, so do not go asking your children
I know.
this question. It's not every child, I think, will react the same way.
Yes.
But he's matured. I think it's a good gauge.
Yes.
As a man, certainly, to understand what I'm working on.
Right.
Is he having the right impact?
Yes.
Or do I need to change course?
Yes.
Am I in the right career?
Yes.
Or should I need to make a change?
Change course.
So that conversation needs to happen.
Right.
It will happen with yourself, or it could engage with somebody else. So I asked him a question. If today I'm to go, I told him, do not be afraid. Nothing's going to happen to me.
Yeah,
but let's just be imagination. I just want to understand something. If I'm to die today and I'm buried, how would you remember me? Not how my work will remember me.
Yes.
Because they will collect my laptop and work will go on.
Right.
The bank will not collapse.
Right. The world will
we need to
move
realize
on.
that
Yes.
the world will move on.
Yes.
Just like if you're on holiday, you're calling sick or I'm stressed, you have signed up for 6 months, the world will move on.
Absolutely. So fast.
Exactly. We have to remember that.
Right.
We are just an individual who are passing by.
Yes.
We make our contribution, but the world will continue.
Yes.
So ask him a question. How would you remember me when I'm gone?
Right.
Like every man, probably women as well, we are excited to, what is he going to say?
Right.
I think I've done well for this family.
Yes.
I've made a good impact in this life.
Absolutely.
So if anything happens to me, I'm sure I'm sorted.
Right.
So he started explaining to me, oh, you're a great dad. You buy me laptop, you buy me Xbox, we have a TV, you pay for the holidays.
Right.
And I said, oh, that's good. When you're looking forward to what is coming up, we're thinking that, oh, I think I've nailed it. And he stopped and he hesitated a little bit. I said, is that all? And he said, yeah. I'm saying, so you will only remember me
from the material
things.
Oh, wow. That was sad.
That was very sad. And if we're honest, I know for some people, asking that to a young person, because again, that's their world.
Yes.
They can only recollect the material things that we do.
Right.
But to me, that's a good measure. And it gave me a time to now go away and reflect. What else have I done?
Outside
the family.
Outside providing for the family.
Thank you.
Which is a key component as a man,
Yes.
that you had given the family a sense of financial stability.
Correct.
Which is kind of still tied to legacy.
It is.
Yes.
So legacy is not abdicating our responsibility.
Absolutely.
To provide financially.
Yes.
To be that provider, that protector in the household. However, the role of a provider is shifting.
Yes.
If we are honest to ourselves.
Yes.
In the good old days, the man was the sole provider.
Absolutely.
And in the 40s and 50s and 60s, the man will go out, make more money than the woman.
Yes.
But we'll reach a generation where the women, if we're open and honest, are earning more than we do.
Right.
So what is our role?
And that's a dilemma that I think we can really expand on. And it was just touching again on what I said in the beginning when you shared on, okay, so now I am carrying something from my grandmother. My grandfather was the type of a man. I cannot operate like that man because I'm not in a village in
the
Sierra
setting any
Leone.
longer.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm saying.
Yes.
If you tried to do that,
Yeah.
some of the things he did in Kent, you will be jailed.
Or you'll
you know
be
what I'm
arrested.
saying? Or you will not have a family.
Exactly.
And so, you're bringing up something that a lot of men are experiencing. And so I'm now a sole provider.
That's
and
right.
now my wife has built herself in a capacity of where she can provide.
She can provide, yes.
So what's my role?
What is my role?
Okay, I think, well, why don't you answer? Or
So
what do you do in such a situation?
The role of a man should no longer be seen only in that limited capacity as a provider.
And that's still important.
It is very important.
Right.
We still need to go out. We still need to work hard.
Right.
But the pressure of being solely or to be only a provider,
right?
I believe for young people, is pushing them to crime.
Absolutely.
Because they know at all costs, I need to provide.
Right.
I need to do whatever I need to do.
Right.
So you have men or fathers who come home. Emotionally, they are not engaging.
Yes. Or they think they've engaged because they've paid the bills.
Exactly, because the bills has been paid. You think my role is finished. I can do whatever I want. Right. I can say whatever I want. I can talk however I want. Right. Treat anybody how I want.
Right.
But your role is not only about the money you bring in.
Absolutely.
Now, you spoke about your grandfather.
Right.
And what I love about that story is the impact of your parents, how they've shaped your thinking.
Oh, yes.
And that is what legacy is all about. So the man is no longer should move away from only thinking about finances.
Right.
But now, how do we relate? How do we build the thinking capacity?
Right.
How do our children or our family members think differently than we did maybe in the 40s and 50s and the 80s?
Right.
Okay. So we should not only limit it to finances. Now, finances, again, I will keep reinforcing this. It's important. Me as a man, I cannot lay down on bed all day, not going to work.
Right.
It's innate in me.
Absolutely.
And I'll seriously recommend to any man, no matter how small it is, bring something to the table.
Absolutely.
And I'll say, when a man is confident with himself, they will not be intimidated with what the wife will bring in.
Absolutely. And I think, if you think about in terms of legacy and what you probably need to build, probably at some point, both hands have to work to build that.
Exactly.
And instead of looking at it as a limitation, you can look at it as an additional tool.
That's right.
And I always, this analogy always sticks with me, when safari rally drivers are driving, and for them to really maneuver that rugged terrain and drive at the speeds they have, you cannot just put one driver.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And so the co-driver's role is as important as the driver.
Oh, yeah.
Because he really communicates to the driver blind spots, things that the driver cannot see.
That's right.
And I think a healthy marriage is where you see these two tagging together, where you see the husband as the driver and the wife as a co-driver. But the feedback that the wife is giving back to the husband or whatever she's doing is actually building this vehicle to move.
That's right.
To move forward, you know. And so I think it's such a disservice when we allow those thoughts of intimidation to cause you to either pull back your wife from really exploring her gifts.
That's right.
Because you feel somewhat it will make you less than, you know?
Yeah, for me, I believe the success of my wife, I would take credit. Because I've given her the opportunity, I've created an environment for her to explore.
Absolutely.
For her to build, for her to flourish. And as a man, I should not be intimidated by her success. I know there are instances out there, and people talk about it, and I'm not oblivious with stories you hear, or when she start earning money, that's when she will start talking about, I need to move on.
Right.
They're not my level anymore. Those are those odd cases.
Yes.
However, that being said, I love the example. If I go back to the example used by rally driver, because I'm a big fan of Formula One.
Oh, yes, me too.
Very big fan of Formula One. I can watch Formula One all day.
Okay, so I'm not on the fan level, but I can watch it now.
I'm a big fan. If you look at the Formula One and you talk about rally driving, very similar.
Right.
They work with group of people.
Oh, that's true.
The community.
Yes.
They've got race engineers.
Yes.
When the driver does not change tires.
Yes.
The only responsibility they have is to just look ahead of them and drive.
Right.
Race engineer will arrange, your strategy.
Right.
You've got the gentlemen or the women who change tires when you come in.
Right.
Who add fuel.
Yes.
Coming, who are responsible for maintaining your car.
Right.
Even your shipping the cars from one destination to the next for the next
Right.
race. So our lives should not be confined to, okay, I'm providing this, so my role is finished.
Right.
But look at the for a man, I would say we need what we call brotherhood.
Right.
Brotherhood is very, very important for any man. We should not just run to our cave, oh, my wife is doing this, or I'm feeling like this, she's any more than me, I'm not feeling like a man anymore, and just run and isolate myself.
Right.
We need a place where we can share each other's pain, as men.
Right, because
As
right
men.
now it's not going to act like in the village center. It's not.
Right.
You're probably not going to get that. And so you are modernizing that safe space where men...
Yes, where men can say, we meet together, we can cry. Because one of the things that I think I've noticed, and it's something that I've had to work on myself, that emotionally we are not the most intelligent for a lot of men.
Yeah, you're very factual.
From young age, we are trained, and society has conditioned us to only perform. Perform meaning that, so if you look at a young boy, even, as little, when you go to the changing room, we are sizing each other up.
Right.
Who's stronger here? Who's the tallest here?
Right.
You want to be dominant.
Right.
Because we want to be at the top of our game. So the psychic of a man is about performance. But we forgot that my performance is just one element.
I love that.
I need to be emotionally matured. I need to be able to connect. When I'm stressed and I come home and I'm stressed, how do I relate to my family? How do I treat my family? And just before I hand over to you, I had this example. Because I travel to London quite a lot for work. And the journey, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, maybe I'm stressed at work, and I've reached home. How do the family react when I show up as a man?
Right.
It only took me, I think about 4 years ago, when I had a conversation. And I asked the wife, why is it that when I arrived, no one seemed to pay attention to me?
Right.
Do you know where I'm coming from? They say, yeah, we know you want to work. But I've gone to slave, I've sweated, I've come home, I've provided, but I'm not getting the accolade.
The reception, yes.
Yeah, no one is paying respect to me. It's like everybody is fleeing when they see me. That's when I realized this is a legacy I've created. I've brought money to the table. But when I'm stressed, how do I speak to my wife?
So you come home more the angry
That's
or...
ego.
Yes.
Yeah. But to me, I was entitled because I've brought money to the table.
Yes.
So no one should say anything to me.
Right.
So I think we need to move past that as men. So yes, you provide. But when we get home, how do we relate? How do we speak to our family members? What have we built?
Theo, and I think that is so important because a lot of the men I find are carrying that from what they saw their fathers do.
Yes.
And they feel somewhat, I'm going to survive in this world of where we're talking emotional intelligence is such a, it's such a norm that if you don't have it, you're completely going to be disadvantaged in terms of evolving your success, especially in the home space or in your relationships.
Yeah.
And so, what you're really saying that this man is providing is just one aspect of who you are.
That's right.
There are other aspects of
Yes.
you. And I just really also want to touch on this idea that men have only two emotions. They can laugh, if they can, and then anger.
Yes.
And it's like, there's a whole spectrum of emotions.
Oh, there is.
But, they're raised somewhat numbing that,
Correct.
before, you dig down and find, you are feeling a sense of fear. You're like, so this is fear. But the first emotion that was projected was anger,
Correct.
Right. Or a withdrawal, like, I don't want to talk about this, and they walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you can speak on that it's important for them to begin to understand these...
The vast array of emotions
yes,
there is.
and being able to
That's right.
articulate them, and so that it's just not the expression that you have is, I am happy, or when I'm not happy, I am just angry, or
That's
if I'm
right.
not angry, I am going to withdraw in this silence that no one can get me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's going into, I think Bishop Chidi Jakes mentioned something about the man cave.
Yes, the man cave.
You go into your cave, you are there on your own, you can cry as much as you want, withdraw from the rest of the world.
Right.
Now, however, because me, I'm a solution-oriented person, you being in a man cave does not bring you solution.
Absolutely.
It brings you isolation.
Yes.
You're isolated from your duty. You're isolated from your family.
Right.
And each and every one of us have got concepts, ideas, theories we need to go out and make.
Right.
So by you being in a man cave, you're not giving yourself avenue to go out there and explore what the world has to offer.
Absolutely.
I do agree with you fully that the two spectrum that most of us have operated, including myself, was anger that we don't seem to handle very well.
Right.
But again, how as society has framed the role and responsibility of a man.
Right.
So we are just a byproduct of the expectation of what we've learned. It could be from childhood, from the traditions and cultural belief system that now seem to be out of date.
Right.
However, that's not to say all the systems are out of date.
Right.
Respect is still respect.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in the West, you might respect differently or it comes across differently, but respect is respect.
100%.
Or you just withdraw yourself.
Right.
But however, for a man to withdraw themselves, I was having a conversation because I have a weekly blog that I write on Substack, and I put it also on my social media handles, including LinkedIn. And I wrote a story about the currency of legacy. What is the currency? And performance is at the top. So when a survey was done, how do you measure? If you had to drop today, measure your legacy.
Right.
Over 90% of the men says, "Oh, there's enough cars in the garage I've left. I've left houses. I've got big bank accounts, a good pension." And I was telling the children, when I die, before even I'm buried, the world will have moved on. You will eat that same money. But remember, my name is not written on the money.
Right.
So you cannot identify me.
Right.
The way you identify me is cultural belief.
Right.
You talk about your granddad, what he impacted in you.
Right.
And now you face the world.
Right.
So what are we passing on to the next generation?
Right.
So when we are angry, there's a reason for that anger.
Right.
But is the world ready to understand what is the reason for that anger? What's driving that anger? I went through a phase where I was always on edge. Sometimes the wife will say, "What have I done?" And I cannot put my finger on what she's done.
Right.
It's only when I had a deep re-examination of myself and I realized I reached a place where I was not happy with myself.
And so instead of saying, "I'm not happy,"
there you go.
You're angry.
I was angry
with
the world.
Right.
Most of us reach a place where we are not happy with the stage. When we were young boys, we had a plan, okay, by this age, I should have had this.
Yes.
I should have had that by this age. I should have done this by that age. All my friends are doing very well. Look at me today. Is this what it's turned out to be?
Right.
So that anger could be driven by you being in a place that you don't like. Yes. Not because of the wife, not because of the children. We're happy with the children. Well, you've not achieved what you believe you should have achieved.
Right.
And I dealt with that in my book. That most of us reach a place where we are at a crossroads.
Right.
We don't know where to go. We cannot make a choice. We're afraid to go to the next level.
Yes.
We are standing still. So anything, we're on edge.
Yes.
Anybody says anything, we think, "Oh, are you undermining my authority in this house? I've not earned the money. You are earning more money than me. You say something, oh, are you now come to disrespect me in my own home?
Right.
Because you earn more than me."
Right.
So it's not so much about the children or the family, but sometimes to do with ourselves. It's because we are not happy with the place we're in. But there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
And I think the encouragement for this, for any man who's listening, is to be, to take that step and be introspective. That's and look within and go like, okay, so I am feeling all these emotions, but where's the root cause of this? Could it be a trauma?
Yes.
Sometimes it's a family trauma that you've carried and you're not even processing it. I think that the thing that really makes me a bit sad is mental health and how in Africa, it's such an elephant in the room, especially when you're trying to talk about that and relating that to men, because it's almost like we don't speak, we just perform.
Yes.
We cannot say we are broken, we must perform.
Exactly.
And if we need to speak, then we are angry.
There's no room for you to talk.
Yes.
There's no room for you to show emotions.
Yes.
There's no room for you to cry.
Right, and which I think is because I mean, David, who's one of the most aspirational characters in the Bible.
My favorite in the Bible.
Your favorite, also one of my favorite, is he had a range of, he showed the range of who this man could be. At one point, you see him challenging Goliath, killing the bears and the lions.
That's right.
But then you also see him so vulnerable before the Lord, begging the Lord, crying, dancing before the Lord.
That's
I mean,
right.
his spectrum of emotions really are wide, you know, and I think for a man to be healthy, it is important
for you to express that different dimension.
Right.
So David, in front of the Lord, this is exactly what Legacy Within is trying to do.
Okay.
Form a brotherhood
Okay.
where we can go to a safe space, because men don't need advice anymore. They've had advice.
Okay,
Sometimes we think we know it all.
that's true.
No man should advise me. No man should tell me anything.
Right.
Because my wife said something when I was launching the book, that men expect the woman to be taught
Yes,
or to learn from them.
right.
But who are they learning from?
Oof, that's deep.
Most of us don't learn from anybody.
Right.
We don't have mentors.
That's a
I
tragedy.
wrote an article on coaching, why men don't like coaching. Ego plays a part.
Absolutely.
The average man thinks that, well, I know everything. We are not vulnerable
Right.
at all.
Right.
We don't want to be exposed. We don't want our nakedness shown to the world. But Legacy Within and the brotherhood we are forming is saying, okay, let's, as men, let's remove that mask.
Yes.
The mask to say, I'm a David in front of Goliath.
Right.
But there's another dimension of David
Yes.
that we need to say, okay, I need to cry.
Yes.
How many of us men can say, I cried? Something that pained me. I let out tears.
Yes.
And to me, I think the first time I cried was probably about 5 years ago.
Wow. And we
My
thank
mom
God.
died, I never cried.
Okay.
I had bad news, I never cried. I was bottling that emotions. But now those emotions will have, it's like a cooking pot. Somehow,
it has
that
to come
steam has
out.
to come out.
Right.
It can come out the wrong way. Sometimes the children have done something
Right.
as minor or minute, yet we just
Lash out.
lash out.
Yes.
You know, we lash out on the wives. And she says, well, is it that bad? You know, our behaviors are a product of things we've bottled up. So I think the generation we are living now, we should stop bottling our emotions.
Right.
Anger. If something is wrong, say it out.
it, yes.
Find a space. Even if I always say, my best friend is not my wife.
Yeah.
Because if my wife hurt me, I need a cave to run to other men.
Right.
I went through a season where, about 3-4 years ago, there was an incident that happened. I was so stressed, but I couldn't, and in my mind, it's playing in my mind, oh, what has happened? I'm going to destroy this family. This family will have to separate. I will have to live somewhere else.
Right.
The kids will have to be taken to care. The wife will have to find her own life. Right. You know, as a man, you begin, because I don't know if, I'm sure that's what most men think. We
Right.
think the extreme.
Yeah, right.
Not the reality, but with fear. And now, that fear for me began to express itself in my behavior. Until one day, my best friend called me out of the blue.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Every man needs a best friend.
Right.
Somebody you connect with in the spirit.
Right.
He called me out of the blue. He said, Theo, I'm feeling something's not right with you.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to come over to Leeds? It's about 5 hours drive. Just take time out, a few days. And I went away. And I got so recharged. We didn't talk about the issue, but I just removed myself from the hot,
pressure.
or the hot fire.
Right.
And just, we went, we bonded, we had food, we went out, we had a good laugh, and I came back refreshed.
Wow. I'm here holding your book, Crossroads, Dare to Decide. And just before we touch more on the book, it's amazing how this gift of writing has been something that has been, it's something that you've had since you are a young person.
That's right.
You want to just kind of walk us through that? How was that?
Yeah. I've always loved writing. How I do write, I don't know, because English has not been my strongest area.
That's all of us.
I'm into numbers, analytics, that's me.
Okay.
But when it comes to writing English, so even, I'm not going to say it so loudly, but I didn't do so well in O-level English. However, when I got to university,
Right.
I don't know what happened. If a new realm in the spirit opened for me, I just seemed to thrive, and I began to excel even in writing.
Right.
So I started writing my first book 24 years ago.
Oh, wow.
On strategic management.
And so you're writing this book on strategic management.
Correct.
And you're this young Sierra Leonean boy.
That's right.
In the UK.
In the UK.
Okay.
What qualifies me to write to a white audience? So I reached a point where I'm asking myself question, what theory have I come up with? What name have I established? So if you talk about Steve Jobs, he's written something, or he said something, or he's done something. Or you talk about Bill Gates, he's done something. But what have you done to give you that power to now write books that you expect people to read? So in life, when you're at the echelon of your life, or you're about to take life-changing decision, you will go through questions like this. You question yourself.
Whether you're valid.
You're valid. Are you qualified? Who will listen to you?
But your dream was valid.
Exactly.
But that voice made you not to publish that
book.
The
voice spoke really loud.
Okay.
I shelved the book 24 years ago because when I was writing my thesis, my research proposal for PhD, I was writing it on performance management in the NHS. And that was a new concept.
Right.
That was not explored so much.
Right.
But even though I had the background, but I still question myself, am I qualified? Am I good enough? So all of us will go through everything in life. Even as a husband, I ask myself, am I qualified? Am I the best thing that this woman could find?
Right.
How can I? But that gives you an opportunity to be better.
Absolutely.
Say, I will be better.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that you're having that perception as a black man in London that whether you are valid enough
That's right.
to speak into strategic, management?
Yeah, exactly.
But when the white people come to Africa and he's a backpacker and barely has, some of them don't have
any qualification.
Other than their color.
Exactly.
But they start major businesses and they move.
They do. But I think culturally, because we've seen the white man come to Africa,
right,
create businesses, make an impact. We have not seen ourselves. We are probably the first generation black people going out there, trying to establish businesses, writing about concepts and theories and ideas and making fundamental changes to society. So we are that first group of people,
and
who are making those changes. And so that's why we have the stumbling block.
Yes, and it makes sense. And it makes sense also why you have to do it. So that when your son starts to dream like that, then he can say, my dream is valid because my father did it.
Exactly. It's also encouraging. Two of my son's best friends,
right,
they seem to love the legacy within output.
Oh, great.
So I sent them signed copies. And they stood in front of their class. This is a black man who is the author of the book.
Wow.
This white boy stood in front of their class, talking to the class about legacy within and the crossroads there to decide, which is the title of the book.
Right.
And they are saying that our black man is their hero.
Wow.
And they called me a GOAT, meaning great of all time. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm still on the journey.
But isn't that like a little light
It never would have been heard of 10, 20, 30 years ago.
That's true.
White people admiring a black man. So there's a shift, there's a change that's happening. And I think we need to embrace that change. But we need to step out, show ourselves, explore our gifting, walk in our anointing and the ministry that God has given to us.
Right.
And then once you walk in it, we don't have to labor because God has gone ahead.
Right.
And is established, is giving us the network. We just need to enjoy the flow and just do what we need to do. But we need to get out of the boat.
Absolutely. Because I always say that boat becomes sinking sand.
Oh, yeah.
Where your comfort zone is sinking sand to you.
That's right.
I think it's amazing what you're saying. And, isn't it funny also how God kind of vindicates you? Because one time you questioned whether you are worthy of writing this book to a white audience.
Yes.
And then many years later, your son's best friends vindicate
exactly.
that. And, I was just talking about how God uses subtle signs to communicate to you about your destiny, to communicate to you that you're in the right path. And you can look at it like, it's just a book, the kids. But you can also look at that and say, this is validating me that what I'm doing has impact, and not just impact to my immediate culture, but actually having a sense of global impact.
That's right.
And if you didn't write the book, you wouldn't have that.
No, you wouldn't.
Because you're not trained as an author, you know?
No, I'm not trained. I didn't go to, I don't know if there's a school for authors.
Right.
I didn't go through the publisher like some people do. I don't have the family background, the rich parents who will connect me to this person and that person. But one thing I love is that I've taken the bold step and write something into the history books.
Right.
I will drop today, but my name will never be erased.
Right.
And that's what I encourage every man to do.
Mm.
If it's a theory, if it's an idea,
right.
if it's a skill set,
right.
if it's a way of living with your family, step out, do it. Once you do it, the world may not remember for how much money you left.
Right.
But they remember for you. They remember you for the upbringing of your children.
Right.
Or, or they might remember, oh, that person used to be sweeping the street
right.
with so much joy, or used to help the children cross the road with so much passion. That is your legacy.
Yes.
So legacy is not always about material things, but it's about the little subtle things that will make a change and an impact on the lives of people long after I'm gone. So my name, whether we like it or not, is not going to be written away from history book. It's there. Whether I sell copies or not, the mere fact that it's been published.
Right, and the fact that you are
there.
intentional on pouring to your children.
That's right.
That's.
And they are seeing possibilities.
Right.
They are saying that nothing can stop us.
Yes.
If we can go to the white man's land and now publish books, what can stop them?
Right.
Owning big banks.
Yes.
Being a CEO.
Right.
Regardless of the obstacles you come across. There were obstacles in writing this book.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to overcome those obstacles. We're showing them their possibility. There are great, mighty people who are accomplishing things out there, not just in Kenya, not just in Africa, but out there in the world, facing opposition, but they are still making an impact. So we are just showing, with God's grace, we can accomplish many things.
Absolutely. And we always talk about the Africans in Africa, but there's a huge Africa in the diaspora.
Yes.
And I think just paying homage to how much they fight for leaving a legacy for their children is on another level.
That's
because
right.
The challenges outside are just on another.
Oh, they're immense.
They're immense, right.
They're immense. But remember, the 40s and 50s and 60s, Africans have gone in.
Right.
They've straightened the path. We've just come in now and we're just enjoying it.
Right.
So somebody pay the price.
Absolutely. And I think when you say that, paying the price, that's one of the things that really motivates me to dare and go forward. Because as long as you're a human being, you are, God expects for you to pay a price.
Yes.
That the next generation may have a better life than you.
That's right.
And so that idea of passing it forward, that which was given to you, you pass it forward.
That's correct.
Because you read great books, you could have just died with that knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. But you were like, no, I'm going to write a book and pass that knowledge forward.
That's
so
right.
I want you to tell people where they can find you. You can talk about the book, where they can find you. And you can also tell us about your upcoming conference on men.
Yes.
And I think it's
Yes, for the book Crossroads, Dare to Decide. You can find this on Amazon. Also, you can find me on www.thelegacywithin.com. That's my website for the brand.
Right.
And in there, you can have a link, and that link, you can purchase the book through that as well. So not only on Amazon, but on the website. On all social media platforms, thelegacywithin.com, or my name, Theo Bangura, you'll find me as well. Okay?
great. So you can check him out on Instagram,
LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook,
and all the other platforms.
Yes.
If you just check Theo Bangura, you should be able to follow him.
That's right.
Great. Theo, it's been...
Let me just quick one.
Sorry.
The conference next year.
Oh, yes.
So my passion is to invite all the men, not just in Kenya, every part of the world, to descend into Kenya.
Wow.
Because I'm arranging a conference where it's going to be a one week conference next year. So I'm just getting the dates sorted, but I'm looking around May, June time. We descend to Kenya. So my passion is to bring at least 1,000 men to Kenya.
Oh, wow.
We go on a retreat where we learn, the struggles of men. We take off our mask. We get empowered. And we'll go back out as better uncles, better husbands, better friends that can make an impact on society. So keep an eye out on my social media handles. I'll be putting out more information after this trip on the conference for 2027. It's going to be an annual conference, but my first one I made a decision. It has to be in Kenya.
And
So
what
that's
year
why
is
I
that?
came.
This year or next
Next
year?
year in 2027.
Oh, I was just about to twist your arm and say it is needed in this year.
No, it's going to be 2020 because of the logistics that has to go into
Right,
it. Because
right.
I want men to retreat and have a fabulous time, and we'll never stop talking about Kenya. So it's going to be my first one next year in Kenya.
Great, and may the Lord and may the community
Amen.
embrace you and give you grace to make it happen. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I'm sure they are inspiring someone who's listening. So, I mean, this is like our third episode, and like we promised you, we'll bring you amazing stories of Africans doing great things, and how just traveling has expounded their mind and made them to think differently. Thank you so much for watching JFB podcast. Kindly subscribe, share the story, and let us know what you're thinking. Give us your comments there. And if you think you're a guest we should have on the show, please reach out to us at jamhurifreshofftheboat@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I can't say thank you, asante sana, for just believing that whatever we're saying is worth you listening to. See you on the next podcast.